Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. I am so excited to finally be shooting this video for you. It has been 120 days, and I have lost 25 pounds in those 120 days. And what I want to do is just share my story, how I got there, what I did, how I lost the 25 pounds, and what my plan is going forward. If you want to fast forward to the how did I do it, just skip forward a few minutes because I'm going to tell you the whole story. Because I have a feeling that there are a lot of you out there like me, postmenopausal, I'm 52, who put on weight and have been trying to lose it. And it's hard. It's really hard. So I'm going to tell you my story and, like I said, and how I did it. So if you're new here, I sure would appreciate it if you'd subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when I post. So if I back up 120 days, that was May 14th, I weighed 155 pounds. That was my highest non-pregnancy weight. That came after 2 months of quarantine because of COVID. So if we back up a little bit further, let's go back to October of 19. My neck had gone out. I went to my chiropractor and I'm like, listen, I'm 51. I know I need to be in better shape. I want to age well so that I don't injure myself, that I prevent injuries, that I have good longevity, a healthy old age. And he recommended strength training and yoga. So I ran right off, joined a gym, and was so diligent. I was at the gym 4 or 5 days a week for 5 months straight. I took 2 yoga classes a week. I had 2 sessions with a personal trainer every week. And then usually, like I said, I was there a 5th day doing some kind of workout on my own. And while I wasn't specifically trying to lose weight, I wasn't just eating hog wild. And when COVID struck in mid-May, I was at 140 pounds. And ideally, for me, I like to be at like 125. My driver's license says 127. But even just my goal for like the last 5 years has been to get to 130. And it's been one of those things where like I've always jokingly said, well, of the 10 pounds I want to lose, I only have 15 left to go. And that felt like the truth. Here, I'm going to pop up my my weight chart from my Fitbit. I have the ARIA scale, and you can see this goes back to 2013. This is, 7 years of weight data for me, and there's just a little bit below 130, and it's been this whole perimenopause period trying to get back down there. So what happened? How did I get up to 155? Well, like I said, COVID hit. If you remember, Seattle was one of the early hot spots. And when they closed the kids' schools, we took off. We have a ski place in northern Idaho, and they didn't have any cases over there. Plus, we could go skiing. So we took off for our ski place. We got to ski for a couple weeks, and then they closed the ski resorts. So we just stayed over there. And what I'll say about the ski place is that's my happy place. That's our celebration place. We're there at Christmas. We're there on vacation. We have a really phenomenal wine selection over there. And so I was drinking. I taught the kids how to make bread. We made cookies. We did taste tests of all the box cake mixes and frostings. And after a month of being over there, it was getting a little too close to being like The Shining. And so we came back here, back to the suburbs of Seattle, and I really just kind of kept doing it for another month until that day when I stepped on the scale and just went, holy cow, this is ridiculous. This has to end. And my social media feed had been filled with Noom. And I'm like, what the heck is Noom? If you go to their website, you don't really get a good idea of what the heck Noom is. But I'm like, you know what? The first 2 weeks were free. I'm signing up for Noom. And so I did. And Noom is an app on your phone. And so here's what mine looks like today. And every day you log in, you log your weight, you track what you eat, it tracks your steps. But probably the most important thing is based on what the data you gave it. So how old are you? What do you currently weigh? What's your goal weight? How fast do you want to get there? It gives you a calorie budget for every day. And it doesn't tell you what to eat, but it does break your calories down when you log your meals into green, yellow, and red. And so, of course, the biggest part of your budget, your calorie budget, is your green foods, your fruits, your vegetables, your healthy grains. Yellow is some other grains, lean proteins are yellow, and then red is basically your fat. And so you're supposed to stay within your calorie budgets, not only the entire calorie budget, but then those under category budgets. And let's say you worked out, so did a half-hour DVD of aerobics or something, and you would log that in. You get half credit for that. And what I mean is, let's say that you figured out that you burned 300 calories. Well, 150 of those calories would go into your calorie budget for the day. So also your steps make your calorie budget go up. So there are ways to get, the more you exercise, the more you're burning, the more you can consume. The one thing that I really, really liked about Noom is every day there's about 10 minutes worth of reading that you do on all kinds of aspects on weight loss, on healthy eating. They explore different diet philosophies. They explore the psychological issues around eating, around goal setting, around food shame. I mean, it really is like everything related to weight loss. They've been covering mindfulness. I mean, it's impacted other parts of my life. So I will say I really have liked Noom, and the fact that I log my weight every day and log my meals every meal has been really helpful for me. I'm a type A control freak. That's my happy place. So let's talk about how I got from 155 to 130, which is where I am today. Most of the weight, 18 pounds, was from this book, Bright Line Eating. And you may remember I did a video several months ago where I outlined lots of different diets that I have done. And if you haven't seen that video, but you're curious, I talk about Haley Pomeroy and fast metabolism. I talk about keto. I will link that video at the end of this video. But what got me a big part of the way there was Bright Line Eating. And the philosophy behind this are that there are these bright lines you don't cross. It's no sugar, no refined carbs, no alcohol, and you weigh everything. So a typical day on Bright Line Eating for me looked like breakfast for everybody is protein, grain, and fruit. So I would have 4 ounces of cooked oatmeal with 8 ounces of plain yogurt and 6 ounces of blueberries and some cinnamon. That was my breakfast. When I kind of hit a bit of a plateau, I gave up the dairy and I switched over. I was having 2 eggs, a piece of Ezekiel toast, and then fruit. Lunch is always protein, so I would do typically 4 ounces of chicken or pork. Vegetable, so for me, my go-to, my easy, is a can of green beans. I love green beans. They don't go bad in the can. You need at least 6 ounces. A can of green beans is about 8 ounces. And then 6 ounces of fruit. and a fat. So usually I would do a little pat of butter on my green beans, maybe a little sprinkling of almonds, all of it weighed out. And then dinner is protein, again, 4 ounces of whatever protein you're having, a salad, and a vegetable. And so I think the plan specifically is, excuse me, 6 ounces of veg at lunch, 6 ounces of veg at dinner, and 8 ounces of salad at dinner. And you cannot make that all lettuce. That's way too much to eat. We like our heavy things, our tomatoes, our artichoke hearts, good heavy produce. But there's some flexibility, like as long as you're getting 20 ounces of veg, you've got some flexibility anyway, and fat, which would always be my homemade salad dressing. And like I said, that got me 18 pounds of weight loss, which I was really happy with, but I could still tell that I had some inflammation in my body. I'd wake up in the morning and my feet would be a little puffy, my hands would be a little puffy. So I knew that I was eating something that was mildly irritating to my body. So I was poking around YouTube, as we are prone to do, and I came across a video by a woman. I think her channel is Lisa D. She's out of Wilmington, North Carolina. She's got the most charming accent. And she was talking about her battle to lose her menopause weight. And she has a lot of leaky gut issues and irritable bowel. I don't have anything like that, but she talked about carnivore. So I started exploring carnivore. And for nominally the last month, I have been on carnivore. I will say that first week of carnivore, I dropped 6.5 pounds, which was amazing. Clearly a lot of water weight. And maybe you know, maybe you don't know, when you eat something that is irritating to your body, maybe you don't have an allergy to it, but it's mildly irritating to your body, the first thing your body does is surround it with water to try to protect itself from this invader. And after time, that water becomes fat. So, sometimes a scale can pop up, a pound, 2 pounds overnight. You didn't gain a pound or 2 pounds of fat, but you could easily gain a pound or 2 pounds of water. So anyway, I started carnivore, and I was doing eggs and bacon for breakfast, and then like a pork chop for lunch and a steak for dinner. And that's it. No sauces, no veggies, no fruit, nothing else. It's called carnivore for a reason. Some carnivores eat dairy. I was trying not to eat dairy. And parallel to that, I wanted to do a food sensitivity test. I'd done one 11 years ago, and I had this huge long list of foods that I was sensitive to. Some I was highly sensitive to, some were just moderately. And my naturopath at the time could not believe I did not have IBS or any kind of leaky gut issues because the list was just so dang long. So I sent away for another one, a blood test, not saliva, but blood. And I sent it off, and it came back, and I only had one food that I was highly reactive to. It was eggs. What had I been eating every single morning for over 3 months? Eggs. So there went eggs. In the moderately reactive category was yogurt and wheat. Okay, what else was I eating every single morning for breakfast? That piece of Ezekiel toast. Okay. And prior to the eggs, what was I eating every single morning for breakfast? Greek yogurt. So I thought, well, okay, now that I have this list, so not only was it foods that I was highly reactive to, moderately, mildly, I also had a bunch of foods that I was not reactive to. And so I took those and went, okay, I'm going to do bright line eating but just with these safe, non-reactive foods. And I did that, and in 2 days, I shot up 2.8 pounds. I was not happy. You can see that here on the chart. I'll put it up here. I immediately went back to carnivore. So, on carnivore, by definition, you're always in ketosis. That's all your body has to burn for fat. It's got no carbs. All it can do is go after the fat, which is great. I had a big plateau. You can see, I'll put the chart up again, that I'm just bouncing around in this weight range. And it was really frustrating. I'm like, how can this be? I'm exercising 5 days a week, and remind me, I'll get to that when I'm done telling the eating part. How can I not be losing this weight? And then last night, I can't explain this. I had my hair done yesterday, and I had to go to Trader Joe's to get some stuff for the kids for dinner. And my total weakness at Trader Joe's are the dark chocolate covered caramels. Total weakness. And I was just having a day, and I got those, and I ate like 6 of them. And that and half a ciabatta roll from Costco with some butter was my dinner last night. I was so nervous when I stepped on the scale this morning. I thought for sure it was going to shoot up. So when it said 129.8, you could have knocked me over with a feather. I could not believe I hit my goal weight with that crap for dinner the night before. But clearly that's not sustainable. I wish I had this miracle discovery of like you eat caramel and bread and voila, you drop weight. It doesn't work like that. So where am I right now then? So I hit the 130, super happy about that. Honestly, I want to lose another 5. As an adult, prior to perimenopause, I was always like 124, 125. I would like to get back there. My driver's license is 127, so I'm really close to what my driver's license actually says. But I'm also searching for a dietitian to help me come off of carnivore. Don't get me wrong, I have a lot of energy on carnivore. I don't get hungry on carnivore. I'm sleeping great on carnivore. But for me personally, it's not something I can sustain long term. My Raynaud's syndrome has come back. If you're not familiar with Raynaud's syndrome, it's where your fingers and toes get cold and then go numb and turn white for no reason in particular. Like you can be sitting in a 72-degree room and it can happen. It started happening to me in my early 40s, but when I largely cut out gluten, it went away. And so it's been really weird that on carnivore, my Raynaud's has come back. Like that makes no sense to me. So like I said, I'm trying to find a dietitian who can help me figure this out. I've been watching, there's a lot of great videos on YouTube, mostly from really muscular guys on how to come off of keto. Although I did find one muscular guy who did a video specifically for menopausal women. So that was really cool. If I think of it, I'll link it below. Anyway, it's a journey, right? And I just feel like I'm one big science experiment, and that's okay. Let's talk about working out, because even though our gyms have opened back up at like 25% capacity, no way, no how am I going back to the gym. Not happening. So about, 4 or 6 weeks ago, I was watching Erin Busby Style, and she was talking about Tracy Anderson. Tracy Anderson is this workout guru in New York, and she's kind of believes in not working the big muscles, but working the little muscles. She's really good at toning the female body, shaping the female body. I am hoping that this is showing up on camera. I think it will. I am starting to get lines, cuts. My butt is starting to be a little more peach-like. So Tracy Anderson, it's a half hour of dance cardio, and then it's a weight workout, but it's mostly just body weight. She does use 3-pound hand weights for some of her arm movements. Because I have issues with my shoulders, I use 2-pound hand weights. I'm gonna pop in the video, the Metamorphosis videos that I've been using. I like them. I find it very sustainable. I break it up though. I can't do the cardio and then the workout because I work out before I eat. Oh yeah. I'll tell you about intermittent fasting in just a second. It's a little bit too much for me, and so I just I alternate, or I'll do the cardio in the morning and I'll do the weights in the afternoon. Anyway, that has been a really great program. I really like it. Another component of my weight loss is intermittent fasting. So I don't usually eat breakfast until 10 or 11 in the morning, and then I try to finish up around 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And I think that has also been really key in losing weight. So that's my journey. That's where I am. I'm so happy to share it with you. If you've got any questions, I mean, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, I'm no clinician, I'm no dietitian, I'm just somebody with a YouTube channel, but if you've got any questions, go ahead and ask them below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. And thanks for being here and sharing my journey with me. Have a really fantastic day.